Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I just thought I'd pop in and see how you guys are doing. Dear me. So I know I've been off YouTube for a long time, and I don't really have any content to put out, to be honest. But I know that the last video I did was a very long update video, which did pretty well in regards to my other videos, which only get like 5 or 10 views in total, pretty much, over the week. But I am really struggling. Takes a lot of courage to say that, but yeah, I've really been struggling mentally over the past few months, I think. Because of all this stress, and well, I've been dealing with feelings of guilt as well, which I know probably shouldn't be, but basically, I've been struggling with the stress of was basically like 3 major things. Number one, actually, what I just demonstrated, my tics. Nobody knows about my tics except my psychologist and a friend that also goes to the same psychologist, and maybe his cousin. I don't know. But along with that comes the stress of like not doing tics around them, and sorry for looking down, just trying to see if there's any ants on the floor. This place is covered in ants like all the time. Even in the bathroom, for goodness sake. They're all over like my hand soap for some reason. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yes, chicks. um Trying to cope with the stress that is having tics, especially in church, because I'm trying to hide it. I have nobody to talk to about it because nobody in the church has Tourette's, for example, tic disorder. Most of them are neurotypical and older, which like pushes me towards the I'm never gonna tell them corner, which is very stressful. And also, number 2, ever since I got diagnosed with level 2 autism back 4 years ago in the beginning of 2022, I thought that was it. I thought that, knowing that information was going to change like my whole life. And being that, being autistic, I thought I was just autistic. But instead, my therapist, a few months ago or something, like 2 or 3 months ago, said, like, was bringing up the possibility of having ADHD as well, because while I do have routines to like make the bed or get up at a certain time to get to work at this time, I've got a set in stone schedule for like work and church and Pilates and things like that, and that's fine. But also, I forget to do things like so many times. I misplace my water bottle, my phone, my thongs. I'm constantly asking myself, where did I put that? And I've come to the realization that it could also be ADHD as well. Now, only like 3 days ago, told my mum that I was doing a screening for ADHD, and now she knows about that stuff hopefully she'll see some use to it, because I don't think I can continue to live my life not knowing whether I do actually have ADHD or not. I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that I may have it. Now, people that actually have ADHD, I don't know, just like give me some advice for this, because in a religious family, where 3 of us are autistic and 1 is trying to be supportive, how do you go about saying that your brain is like constantly against you to try and make you forget things? And then I lose track of time very easily. So it's great. And also, I don't know how you do it. Like as of right now, I'm like just professionally diagnosed autistic. So ADHD could be part of my world. I've always kind of denied it, because I was like, well, I don't do this and I don't do that, and it's like, well, obviously then I can't have ADHD. But then as I get older, all of these symptoms start to I begin to like uncover them out of the ground, reveal them. I don't know. I forgot the saying. And it's become more evident to me that I should really look into this. So great. And now, thirdly, it's not. Well, it is a big deal, but it's a big deal to my mother. And this topic may also be pertinent to this suspected ADHD diagnosis that will hopefully be coming along maybe further in the year, possibly. And then I'll have an explanation why I forget everything, and I'm a few minutes late to making dinner and whatnot. But I'm doing a course at TAFE. TAFE, I think, is based in Australia. I don't know if there's any TAFE around internationally, but I'm doing a course. It's a 1.5 years long, which also brings me back to my point 2, which is people with ADHD tend to delay tasks that may take a longer time, and they sort of procrastinate. But it's not procrastination, because procrastination is like, oh, I don't want to do the dishes now because I would want to do this game instead, and then they do the game. People with ADHD have this constant nagging feeling in their brain, be like, I should be doing this, but I want to do this instead. Which is basically what I do every time I want to try and chip away at this course that's going to take it 1.5 years, and I, very ashamed to say this, but I have not been doing my course since I think like November of last year. So it's been 2 months since I've actually looked at the website and been studying that, which I think is a very big motivator to get me, tested for ADHD, maybe diagnosed, and maybe getting medication, because I think medication would be very, very helpful. And I can't really help my environment, because older people tend to not understand neurodiversity as well as younger people do, because they've been around it and there's been more awareness about it, because autism is not like a hush-hush term anymore, which is great, because I can be autistic freely. I don't want to be harassed or murdered for how my brain works, which is what happened to a lot of kids in the 1940s, I think it was. It was, I keep thinking of Ferdinand, but I don't know who that is. Asperger, yeah. Yeah, so the common diagnosis since like 2013, Asperger syndrome, is actually derived from the guy who killed autistic and ADHD and like mentally handicapped kids back in the 1940s. If they weren't seen fit to live, it's a tragedy. It's terrible, but I don't agree with the fact that Asperger's used to be a term. I've actually seen it in a book that came out like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, come on. It's like, we're already past that. Why bring it up now? It's like, yeah. I guess the schools and everyone else hasn't caught up. But I'd say that the neurodiversity community, but is like the most accepting and resilient of like every single group on earth, because, and I'm not saying for everybody, just know that, but people with disability and mental illnesses, mental disabilities and physical disabilities have to hurdle more through life to live. Because as many autistics say, this world was not built for our brains. It was built for neurotypicals' brains, who like to make everything complicated for no apparent reason. And it's usually the neurotypicals who get mad at us for being, for like wanting to change the way the world works, because I've seen a lot of people in political stances be against people with disability because we're because we're not very good at capitalism. I've heard someone at church say that, but it's mostly autistic people that are bad at communism. I think it was, yeah, capitalism and communism. One of the two, I don't remember, but people would, yeah, I was saying, they hurdle more in life. If, like, for example, it's not an example, this actually happens in real life. If you've got a wheelchair, you absolutely, obviously, must be paralyzed or bound to the wheelchair. There's no other option, because apparently people in wheelchairs just cannot move their legs at all, like never ever in their whole entire life. Completely ignoring the fact that ambulatory wheelchair users exist, and I've seen many of them on the internet, because the fact of the matter is, there's people who use wheelchairs for long distances or going around the supermarket that they can walk. Like people with FND, people with, I'm not sure about this, but people with epilepsy may use it. I'm not sure about that. But people with like fainting disorders like POTS or muscular dystrophy, all types of physical disabilities and mental disabilities that can make it difficult to walk sometimes. And that's, I'm like, people are so ignorant, and like, I've heard, I can't remember who it was, but it was, I watched this autistic YouTube content creator, Morgan someone, I cannot remember her last name, but she made a post about someone, I think it was someone's son, something junior, and he was like, along these lines, I can't remember what he actually said because it was so disgusting, like, autism ruins families, and I'm like, holy moly, he did not just say that. And there was somebody else, I can't remember if it was the same guy, there was somebody else that was saying, like, we should be eradicating autistic people from the world, because, you know, if we do that, then there'll be no more autism. And I'm like, yeah, do you even know how autism is, you know, do you even realize what genes need to be in someone, like a parent's body, to produce an autistic child? Until you have figured that out, you have no right or being to say that. And even after the fact, no, Tylenol does not cause autism. Just putting that out there. I feel like I have to. I should not have to say that. But political figures have no idea what disability looks like, or sounds like, or what awareness is. They're always neurotypical, old, and men, which is probably the worst combination to understanding disability as a whole, because old people tend to not really understand that much because it wasn't around in our days. And I'm like, yes, it was. It was just, you know, not being spread about, not spreading the word about it. You know, okay. But yeah, that's how I've been. I don't know, how have you been? Still struggling? I am. But yeah, I gotta do some study now that I'm actually wanting to do now. So, see ya. Bye.